Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the title and from these little envelopes in today's Pick a Card reading, we are going to be looking at a channeled letter from your person. I have prepared a little document here so that we can go over how this reading is going to work today, because there's a few different ways that you could use this reading. The first way is for those of you who already have a specific person in mind whom you would like to hear from. So for that, you would think of the person you would like to hear from and then let that guide you to choose your group. If you don't know who you would like to hear from today, or if you'd like it to be a surprise and whoever has a message for you will come through, you can choose your group first, and then after we read the letter, you may pick up on some feelings about who this letter is from. So in that case, it would be up to you to determine, based on the letter and the feelings that you get, who is reaching out to you today. And then the other option, for those of you who are not sure who's going to come forward, there will be an optional mini reading at the start of each pile to see who this letter is from. So this is totally optional. You're free to do this little reading, but you can go straight to the letter if you already know who this is, or if you would like to read the letter first and then feel for yourself who it's from. So I hope that all makes sense and that it's not too confusing. As for who this person could be, we are going to be channeling someone who loves you, someone who cares about you, and this can be any type of relationship. So it could be romantic, platonic, family, friend. It could be even you, your higher self or your future self who is coming through. This could be someone who is incarnate on earth right now. It can also be someone who has passed on to the other side, and it could be a current person in your life or a future person. So it doesn't necessarily have to be someone you've met yet. For example, it could be your future spouse or your future child or your future fan, something like that. So there's really no limitations to who this person can be, just that it's someone who loves you and cares about you, and they're going to be bringing you comforting and uplifting messages today. So that is everything I had to say before we get into it. There are 3 readings for you guys to choose from today, and I have placed little crystals on top of each to help you pick. If you are drawn to more than one today, that is totally fine. Even if you were drawn to all of them, that is totally fine. If you're drawn to multiple groups, it's likely because there are multiple people who have a message for you. So please don't limit yourself in the number of readings that you watch today. But without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. Number 1 is rose quartz. Number 2 is amazonite. And number 3 is amethyst. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the rose quartz, this is going to be a reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, just before we get to the letter, there is an optional mini reading if you would like some hints about who this letter is from. If you already set the intention to receive this letter from a specific person, or if you would like to read the letter first and see what comes to you with regards to who this is from, then you might want to skip this part. So I'm going to put a timestamp at the bottom here so that you can skip forward to the letter for those of you who just want to get right into it. But for those of you who would like to do this mini reading, there's going to be 3 groups. We're going to roll 3 sets of dice and see what hints we can pick up about who this might be. So for number 1, we have these marbly looking dice. For number 2, we have these swirly dice. And for number 3, we have these sparkly dice. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the first set. If you chose group number 2 or 3, here are the timestamps so that you can skip forward to your group. But let's get started with number 1. Any hints about who this letter is from? Okay, so we have Aries, we have the planet Uranus, and we have the number 4. Okay, this is interesting because I feel like with the sign of Aries, this could be coming from you. This letter could be coming from you, but the planet Uranus would make me think that it's future you, but the number 4 would make me think that it's past you. So this could be from like a version of you in the past or a version of you in the future. Yes. Okay, so for my number 2s, we have the Sun, the number, yes, that is a number 2, and we have the sign of Aquarius. Okay, so this would be someone who you feel is a very significant person in your life. And I'm hearing specifically, this is someone who has really shaped the person that you have become. The healing that you've done, the successes that you've reached, your accomplishments, your confidence, your sense of self. I feel like you may owe a lot of that to this person, either through how they have inspired you or how they have directly contributed to your life and assisted you. Like, it feels like they are a really big part of you. You might even describe this person as being a part of you or just a really, really significant part of your life. With that being said, it does seem that in the current moment, at the time that you're watching this, there may be a little bit of distance between you and this person. So they could be far away, or you don't talk so frequently. You're not having such an active relationship right now, but that does not change the fact that they're still very, very important to you. For some hints as well, like the sign of Aquarius could mean that this person is an Aquarius, like they could have the sun in Aquarius. They could also have Leo placements because Leo is ruled by the sun, and Taurus as well because Taurus rules the second house. They could also be like a Cancer rising or a Capricorn rising. Okay, so now we are getting into number 3. Oh my gosh, so we have the sun again, same as group 2, 4, same as group 1, and then we also have the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, this is someone that you are very, very close to, and I think you still are very, very close to them. So this feels like someone you currently have like an intimate relationship with, like a close friend or a family member or like a partner, a soulmate, something like that, someone who's really, really close to you. But I do feel like with Sagittarius, because I'm just thinking about like travel and faraway lands, this could be someone who is at like a long distance from you. And there could be some drifting apart because one or both of you has like moved on to big achievements. It's that feeling of, like, let's say someone got their dream job and you're so proud of them and you're so excited for them and they have such a bright future, but then, and like you want them to go off and go into the big wide world and like do these amazing things and you want to cheer them on. But at the same time, there's this feeling of like, don't forget you have a home here too. Like, don't forget about our memories and like come back sometimes, come home sometimes. Like, you don't want them to fly away completely. That is the feeling of this group. So these are our little hints for who this person might be. And maybe I'll just keep these here. They look cute. I really like these dice. So let's put them up here. And now we're going to read the letter. And because I've already written it, it's very interesting to see how these different things can apply. So I didn't actually put the letter in here. This is just, little thing for cute decoration because there's no way I could write a whole letter that small. So this is the letter. I have not forgotten about you. In fact, you are frequently on my mind. I don't know how or why, but I'm reminded of you as I move through life. Sometimes it's a specific thought, a wondering. Other times there's no thought at all, just a nebulous, intense emotion, just the essence of you. I sometimes feel crazy, and yet somehow I know you would understand. I hope you are doing well. I think you are, but I do worry about you. Things are hard right now. I derive great comfort from my thoughts of you, my memories. I wonder if you hold me dear as I do you. And then they signed it. So a couple of things that I noticed when writing this letter is that, first of all, they didn't address you at the beginning. And this could be because they were just eager to get into it, or they didn't know how to address you. It's almost as if they felt like awkward about it, or they didn't know. Should I use your name? Should I use a pet name? There was something weird in them around naming you, which is interesting. And, you know, definitely this person is thinking about you a lot, but it doesn't seem like it's often for a specific reason. It's just that your energy pops up a lot, and they do think about you a lot and feel you around very intensely. When they signed the letter, it came to me that they signed with their real name or their full name. So an example of this would be like, if this is someone who everybody calls Alex, they signed it as Alexander, like their full real name. Or if this were me, like I didn't sign it as KINO, I signed it as Carrie. And so there's more of a feeling of being intimate or being vulnerable or kind of bearing all. They wanted to be like stripped down, even though they felt awkward about it. They felt like it was something that they want to do. And to tell you that you are so heavily on their mind like this, and like they feel like they're making these assumptions like, I know you're doing well. I know you would understand why I feel about you so intensely. And wait, how do I know that? I just know that. So it's this weird thing where they have knowings about you and knowings about the connection, but they cannot say why they have those knowings, and yet they're still telling you because somehow they have that knowing that you just get it. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, this person definitely feels very, very closely connected to you. I also noticed that they wrote slowly and really paid attention to every letter. And I had to look up what nebulous meant because I didn't know, but that word came to me. So this person probably has a bigger vocabulary than I do and seemed kind of formal, you know, like, I have not forgotten, you are frequently on my mind, like very formal. And that's not because they're not being intimate with you. I think that's just kind of the way that they talk. Yeah, so let's also leave our letter here. And now finally, we are going to get into our decks for today to get any other messages from this person or about this person, about your connection. So we are going to be using the Gentle Tarot and the Bloom Oracle. And together, these are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. We do a seasonal bundle every season, and I think many of you guys have heard of them before, but they are an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, and they actually publish their own in collaboration with creators. 50% of their profits go towards supporting independent tarot and oracle deck creators' new projects. So I am going to have this bundle linked down below if you guys want to check it out. I'll also link the individual decks. If there's one in particular that you feel called to, you can check out every single card on Tarot Stack's website, and you can also read my personal comments about this bundle. And if you would like to get the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. So thank you very much, Tarot Stack, for that. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you. And now, let's get into it. Okay, let's take those. So we have Judgment, and we have the Six of Cups. We also have the Five of Cups. These are coming out very quickly. And we have Justice. Holy crap. Okay, there's like really heavy soulmate imagery here. For those of you, if you watched this mini reading and you chose group number 1, there was a message about this being you who wrote you this letter. And I think it can make sense if like future you is thinking about you a lot and has a lot of nostalgia for you, and future you is like often reminded about the current you and worries about you and hopes that you're okay and holds you very dear. Like I can definitely see how a future version of you could feel this way. But I also wonder for some of you if this is like a soulmate or a divine counterpart who literally is you, or who like literally is your soul, because we have the Six of Cups, which is strong soulmate energy. We have these two people mirroring each other. And then we have Justice, which is like yin and yang, very much giving counterpart vibes. I do want to say as well that 3 out of 4 of these cards are Scorpio energy, like all of these are. And then this is Libra energy. So this could be someone who has strong Scorpio or Libra placements, or these are coming out because this is a time of year that is going to be significant for this connection. So roughly the months of October and November could be when there is an important development in this connection. So with Judgment, it definitely does feel like this person is starting to face the truth about how they really feel about you and what this connection means to them. And it's almost like they're not suppressing it anymore. They're not doubting it anymore, because I think that this awareness has always been there, but they've just kind of dismissed it. So it's not that there was ever a time that they didn't feel the connection or that they didn't experience it or they didn't realize it was there. They very much did, but then they would have these dismissing thoughts of like, because I'm hearing like to play it safe, they would have these dismissing thoughts of there's nothing there and it's just in your head. But then even if it is just in my head, why is my head having these thoughts? Surely that in itself says something. If I am making this up in my head, why am I doing that? Because even that then is a sign that group 1 is really, really important to me and has had a really, really strong effect on me. I do get the sense that this is a very analytical person. They may be someone who overanalyzes at times and who can really get in their head. But I do think that it often has a positive impact on them, because they are, through their thorough analysis of everything, they are able to come to conclusions, and they're still able to be reasonable. You know, they're not going to overanalyze something to death just because they're stuck in that cycle. It's because there's like a truth that they want to come to. And so I think they have thought a lot about how they've experienced this connection and why. And they've debated a lot about, you know, is this really a thing? Is this really a thing, or am I just making it up? And then they're like, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because if it is really a thing, or if I'm making it up, the outcome is the same. And it's that I care about you a lot, and that you're very heavily on my mind, and that I feel very drawn to you, and that you're very special to me. And it's like pragmatic, you know, the outcome is the same. So I should be paying attention, because whatever the reason is, you are here, and you are here very strongly. And there's still some things that I can't explain. Like sometimes I specifically think things about you, or I specifically wonder things about you. But then other times it's so abstract. It's just like, oh, group number 1's here. Group number 1's energy is here. I feel them. What does that even mean? How do I know that? Like, I think we get it because, like, yeah, you pick up on someone's energy. You feel someone's energy and it's very distinct. When you feel the unique energy of someone's soul, you know that they are there. But I think to them, they're having this spiritual experience of feeling you there. And it's like, but how do I know that I feel you? If it's not attached to a specific thought, what signal is my brain giving me that tells me that you are here? It's like their logical brain cannot really make sense of it, but their soul is just effortlessly sensing you and feeling you and welcoming your presence. And so there's a little bit of a gap where their mind is like, what the heck is going on? Like, what does this mean? But they're engaging with it. Like, they want to understand at this point, because it's like, clearly your energy is not going away and it's very important, and it brings me comfort and it makes me happy, and I'm not going to turn that away, and I'm going to keep trying to make sense of the things that I don't understand, but in the meantime, I'm going to embrace the unknowns. I'm not going to throw it away just because my logical brain doesn't understand it quite yet. If the human race did that, we would not have any scientific advancements, would we? Because people would just be like, oh, that doesn't make sense to me, and throw it away. So it seems like their brain is awesome. It seems like they're approaching this connection like with a sense of curiosity. Yeah, and they're just like facing it. They're not going to hide from it anymore. And I think that deep down they also know, whether you've talked about this or not, I think they just intuitively feel that you feel the same way and that you're going through the same things. And I'm hearing they trust that you are not ignoring it and that you're not dismissing it. And they really thank you for that. For some reason, they perceive that it might be easier for you to just walk away from this connection because it would be really difficult for you to feel that way about them. They think it must be difficult for you if you have these feelings for them. It might be difficult for you to pursue them or embrace the feelings. They're like, if I'm having a hard time with it, I can't imagine how you feel. That's kind of how they would say it. Just based, I don't know what it is, based on the positions that you're in or the circumstances that you're in. I'm not sure why they say that, but they feel like it must be hard for you. But you're still embracing it. And that is something that they're very grateful for. They recognize that it might seem like you're so different, but you're really not. They recognize that as well, that you are not so different and that you're actually much closer than it appears, much closer than you might realize. They seem to have always felt a really deep familiarity towards you, as if they've known you forever, even though they know that's not true, but maybe it is true. It's like, I don't know, it's your face or something, your face, or like the feeling you give them. They're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I know this. This feeling has been here forever. This being, meaning you, this being has been here forever. They have a lovely choice of words sometimes. It's so interesting. This entity, I know this entity. And they do, they probably freaking do. Like with all of this Scorpio energy, this can also be an indication of past lives. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have many past lives with this person, and this is why they feel so familiar. And then yeah, we also have this Five of Cups, which I do think is indicating a feeling of missing you, like of wanting to be closer to you physically, a feeling of sadness that they can't offer more to you, that they can't display more to you, is what I'm hearing. They wish that they could display or demonstrate more to you, but they can't. And they don't want you to feel lonely like they do because they feel quite lonely. And it may seem strange, they're saying, but if they're feeling down or if they're feeling lonely, the thought of you is one of the first things that comforts them, or wishing that you were around is one of the first things that they do. And when something happens in their life, they want to share that with you. Like their first thought is to run and tell you. That's just something that feels natural to them. I also think this Five of Cups could be them recognizing that things are just tough right now in life. So this person could be going through a hard time and maybe feels or knows that you are going through a hard time as well. And I do think energetically you are leaning on each other, and perhaps they wish that you could lean on each other more, like physically in the 3D, but just know, like, if things are tough right now for you or for them, I do think that your souls are giving each other a lot of strength, and you might be able to get through hard times with more ease than usual because you're giving each other power. And I think with Justice, I want to say you're manifesting each other, but also your energies balance each other out perfectly, like two polarities. And I kind of see your energies as like a slider, if that makes sense. So, or a fader, I guess, where like they're over here, you're over here. Interesting, they're on this side, you're on this side. And you can like move the fader. So you could be expressing completely your energy, or you could move it over a bit, and then it's like their energies mixed in, and it can be expressed on both sides. Like both of your energy can be expressed on both sides is the way that it's coming through. And at different times in your life, when you need to lean on different strengths, you might lean more into their energy and express it. They might lean more into your energy and express it. And this is how you get each other through tough times. I feel like you have helped each other equally. You have contributed equally to each other's successes, to each other's well-being. You have accomplished what you have because of their gifts, and they have accomplished what they have because of your gifts. Like this feels like a really like tight-knit, really intimate connection that you have. So we're gonna get some oracle cards now. This person, there's a sweetness to them that I'm hearing you don't see very much in this day and age. There's a sweetness to them, there's a warmth to them, there's not innocence, but it's like in this world where there's so much corruption and selfishness and like self-serving people, and people are becoming more and more disconnected, they still believe in the idea of like unity and true love and like showing kindness to your neighbor and your community. And it's just like I'm just hearing it's something that you don't see that much anymore. You know, like, hey, I just moved in, I brought you some cookies. Or like, hey coworker, you said that you like green tea and I brought you this green tea and it has hibiscus notes in it and it's very interesting. Like just thinking about everyone all the time and like thinking about, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. It's so sweet. Like what could I do for this person just so that they know like someone is thinking about them, or maybe they're not even, it might not even be that deep of like, I want you to know someone is thinking about you. It comes so natural to them of like, oh, I should do this for so-and-so. Like, that would be nice. That would be good. Oh, like just very pure. Yeah, that's like Libra energy. Their Libra side is coming through. It also feels a bit Cancerian as well, like wanting to take care of people and valuing loyalty and valuing like your group, your family, your community. What other messages do we have? We have roots, focus on foundation with the number 21. You could be settling in a new environment, or this person could be settling in a new environment. Like one or both of you could be relocating, or you could be resettling after a very chaotic time. Like one or both of you has maybe gone through something recently where there was a lot of uprooting and you're just kind of finding your footing again and you're giving each other strength. We also have change, embrace all seasons. Yeah, this feels like a transition where like something was uprooted and now you're having to find a new home, a new place to put your roots, or just ground yourself again. And I'm thinking about that, the 5 of Cups and the message of like things are hard right now. Maybe things are hard for both of you, or you have gone through something really hard recently and like you just want to find your home, you just want to find your place to settle. I think both of you really value like having this safe place for my heart, having this home for my heart. And I think and I hope that someday you can be a part of each other's, or that you already are. And then we have the sunflower with face the light. I cannot finish describing like just how much strength you give each other and how much joy you give each other, even if it is energetically, even if it is in spirit. I feel like at the highest points in your life and at the lowest points in your life, this soul has always been there, pushing you up and pushing you forward, and is the main reason that you both haven't given up. Because I'm hearing there's a lot of times where you could have just given up on the things that you're pursuing. And especially if you can think of something in your life that you just keep stubbornly going towards, like a goal that you keep stubbornly going towards, it's probably because their higher self is not letting you give up. Like, no, they want to remind you that you can do it, and how powerful you are. And you have done the same thing for them in their accomplishments. Like, yes, it is their own willpower why they didn't give up, but in all of those moments where they maybe felt like this is too much, or they felt like it's not going to work out, you were there. You were there in person, or your higher self was there. But I just feel like your souls have never abandoned each other. And if you've ever felt that their energy's not around, or if you've ever felt distant from them, I definitely think that that's an illusion. Like, you're connected from the root. Like, yeah, your roots are connected. I want to read one from the guidebook. Maybe let's read the sunflower one. Sunflowers could be a sign of this person. Face the light. Unfurl your petals and smile at the sun. You might be in a difficult phase right now, but there is light to be found even in the darkest of times. This light will never go out, no matter what. Find your light and allow it to shine upon you. Feel the rays piercing through your skin, right into your heart center. Fill yourself with light. This card is also a sign to celebrate yourself. Accept the love, the compliments, and praise you deserve. For someone who is so used to giving, it can be difficult to receive. Understand that what goes around comes around, and you are receiving this love because you are love. I think that the best thing you can do to get closer to this person energetically, as well as like if you are manifesting getting closer with them physically, is embracing yourself and loving yourself, because the more you do that, the more expressive you're going to be. The more you love yourself from within, the more you're going to shine outward, and all of your rich, beautiful golden light is just going to emanate out, and it is going to reach this person no matter what. And I was going to say it's going to help them come home to you. So needless to say, this is a very, very strong and significant connection in your life. It is giving very strong soulmate vibes for sure. So this is what I have for my group number ones. I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack once again for collaborating with me. And thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I've absolutely loved using them together. I'm going to have this bundle linked down below. I'm also going to link the individual decks if there's one in particular that you would like to check out. Remember that you can see every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. And if you do feel drawn to the bundle, so both decks, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. So thank you very much to Tarot Stack for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Amazonite, this is going to be your reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, we do have an optional mini reading at the very beginning for those of you who would like to see any hints about who this person could be. If you have already set the intention to receive a letter from a specific person, or if you would like to read the letter first and then see what you pick up with regards to who it is, then you might want to skip this part. So if you want to just skip forward to the letter, I'm going to put a timestamp down below to let you know when that starts. But for those of you who would like to receive some hints about who this might be, we have 3 groups for this mini reading. So I'm going to be rolling 3 different sets of dice. For number 1, we have these marbly, darker colored dice. For number 2, we have these swirly pastel dice. And for group number 3, we have these sparkly dice. So I'm going to go ahead with group number 1. And for group 2 and 3, these are the timestamps that you can go to skip to your group. But let's get started with number 1. Any hints about who this letter might be from for number 2s? Okay, we have the planet of Jupiter. We have the sign of Sagittarius, and we have the number 4. So Jupiter and Sagittarius are energies that go together because, actually, this is so cool because there's Sagittarius here, and then the number 4, the 4th house is related to the sign of Cancer. And then as for Jupiter, Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius, but Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, I'm pretty sure. So both of these signs actually fit with Jupiter. So the person that this letter is from, they could have Sagittarius placements, Cancer placements, they could have Pisces placements as well, also Virgo. They could have Virgo placements too. But I feel like this is someone who I want to say in your history with them, it feels like there hasn't been that much tension. There hasn't been any hard feelings. It feels like it's all love. It's all love, and you always want the best for each other, and you always want to see each other reach their full potential. It feels like not a lot of drama, things like, competition with each other or jealousy or tense situations. It just feels like it's all good vibes. It's all good vibes. It's all stress-free. And I feel a really, really close friendship between the two of you. Of course, this could be a family relationship or a love relationship, but I do think that at the foundation of your connection, there is a really strong and beautiful friendship. And there's always a loyalty between the two of you. And this really feels like one of those relationships where you could go so long without seeing each other, but then when you see each other again, it's like nothing has changed. You're right back where you left off. You're still as close as you have ever been. And I do actually think that this person either is your family or they really feel like family to you. They feel like your soul family. And that you would never... that you have a place in each other's hearts forever. Like, it feels really fond and really positive. So let's move on to group number 2. Any hints about who this person is? We have the planet of Mercury. We have the number 1, which is the first house. And we have the sign of Leo. So as soon as I saw Mercury, this let me know that this is someone you are currently in communication with. So I think it's someone you already know, as opposed to someone who is coming in the future. And for some of you, this could be, they don't necessarily have to be a person, because you could be talking to them through telepathy. Like, it could be a spirit guide or something. And actually, with this number 1, it could be someone whom you talk to almost every day or on a daily basis, and they are a source of a lot of encouragement for you when you're feeling down, when you're struggling with confidence, or when you're struggling with your sense of direction. This is someone who talking to them always makes you feel better and renews your sense of certainty in yourself. Sometimes we might fall into these moods of, what am I doing with my life? Or feeling not good enough. And it's like, as soon as you talk to this person, you're like, what am I saying? Like, I'm a bad bitch, or I'm a badass. Like, you remember how amazing you are every time you talk to them. They could have Leo placements, Aries placements, because the first house is related to the sign of Aries. And then with Mercury, we also have Gemini and Virgo energy. One specific combination could also be like a Leo sun with Mercury in Virgo. But I also think with the first house representing the self, this could be, I don't know if I said this could be your higher self, but it could. Or just someone who is very, very close to you right now and is a part of your everyday life. Okay, and next, finally, let's roll the dice for group number 3s. Okay, so we have the North Node, we have the number 10, and we have the sign of Leo. Ooh, okay, this might be a future connection. So this is either someone you haven't met yet, but you are going to meet them in the future, or you're not super close with them right now, but you are destined to be super close in the future. Because the North Node, it has a feeling of like your future path and your destiny. Like, you're fated to meet this person, or you're fated to get closer with them. And this could be someone who, for some of you, this could be someone you know of them, but you haven't met in person yet. Because with the 10th house and the sign of Leo, it could be someone in the public eye, in the public sphere, or someone in the same career field as you whom you really respect and really look up to. And it's someone who you're actually destined to meet or destined to be very close with in the future. And one of the reasons you feel so drawn to this person is because they're an example of what your life purpose is. They're an example of what your destiny is, and the person you can become, and the person you are becoming. So it's like your soul actually sees themselves in this person. Like they're doing all of the things that you're meant to do. They're expressing all of the talents that you yourself have as well. Oh, that is really cool. So this is our mini reading. I'm going to leave the dice here and we are going to get to your letter now. This one was short and sweet. It's only one page. We have been together for many lifetimes. You lead and I follow. Do you remember? We have a group, our little family. We go everywhere together. I love my life here. Our lives are so interesting and beautiful. Never forget that. We'll cherish every experience. I'm so proud of the human you are and who you will become. Although I'm not surprised, winky face. Your friend, and then their name. So a couple things that I picked up on while writing this letter. Their energy is so jovial, I think is the word, jubilant, joyful, very much like Jupiter-esque energy. They're just so happy and cheerful. This does feel like a higher self writing this letter because it doesn't really feel like a human. When I wrote this letter, it didn't feel like a human. It felt like a higher self or even an extraterrestrial being who was writing this. And they would actually sign this letter as their soul name. I don't know what their soul name is, but rather than signing it as the human that you recognize on this earth, it's like their soul who has a different name. And I think that this letter is directly from their soul. I also noticed that compared to group number one's person, their writing is bigger and more loopy. And that just, to me, it feels more carefree. It feels more expansive. You know, they're not like being careful to all the minute details. They're like, aha, it is okay. Let me express myself freely. Like that is very much their vibe. They just have so much joy in their soul. And their human self might not be aware, but their soul wants you to know that you've been together for many lifetimes and you always go together. They have this message of you lead and I follow. I'm not really sure what that means. Maybe they follow you throughout incarnations, or you are a great source of inspiration for them, or something like this. They're also implying the existence of other soul family members who are very close to you as well. So you have a soul family connection not only to this person, but for example, if there's some mutual people in your life, like if this is your friend and then you have other friends in your group, they're kind of suggesting like, oh yeah, all of us are soul family, or like you, me, and mom and dad, or whatever like your group is. They're saying, oh yes, all of us are soul family. And yeah, and they're wondering if you recognize that and if you remember that. And when they said, I love my life here, they're talking about Earth. So that also gave me like oh, this soul is not from Earth. They're like, oh yeah, I love it here. My life is so cool. My life is so interesting. And they're saying never forget that because, you know, when you're down here on Earth, sometimes things can feel boring or underwhelming or annoying or frustrating. And they're saying like, please don't lose sight of the miracle that it is that we are here and the miracle that we have this life, because when all of this is done and like when we exit our human form, we're gonna appreciate every last bit of it, the highs, the lows, the exciting stuff, the boring stuff. It's all going to feel so magical. It's going to feel like such a miracle that we were able to do this. And you can tap into this energy right now. Like, please never forget how freaking awesome it is that we're freaking here. Like, we're doing it. We're on this planet. I think they're just in so much awe and appreciation of that, and they wanted to extend that to you and just let you know how proud they are of what you're doing. They are impressed but not surprised because they've seen you in action through so many lifetimes. They know your soul very, very well, and they're like, of course you're doing amazing things. It's in your nature. So this is a soul who loves you very much, and I just love this letter. It brought me so much joy. So now we're going to get into some cards to see what other messages await you. So we have the Gentle Tarot and the Bloom Oracle. And together, these are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. This is another one of our seasonal collaborations, which I'm very grateful for. I think most of you know Tarot Stack already, but they're an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks, and they also publish projects of their own. They team up with independent tarot and oracle deck creators and help them to fund their projects and publish them. And so they're an active supporter of this community. I appreciate them so much. I'm gonna have this bundle linked down below, as well as the individual decks. If there's one in particular that you feel called to, you can look at every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website, and you can also look at my own personal comments about the bundle and how to use it and things like that. And if you do feel called to the bundle, you can get 10% off using the code KINO. So thank you very much to Tarot Stack. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you. Let's get into your gentle tarot. What other messages does this person have for group number 2s? We have the Tower. Okay, this is me from the future because it took me so long to correctly say what this card is. First, I thought it was the Four of Swords because I read flower as 4, which is very impressive. And then I thought it was the Death card because it has the number 13 on it. But no, it is the Queen of Swords because the flower is the Queen and thunder is swords. However, I am going to take into account Four of Swords energy and Death energy, as I think it's significant that I named those energies. And then after this, we have the Devil and the Two of Cups. So there's some heavy energies here, starting off with the Tower. As you might know, this is a sudden ending or something suddenly falling apart in your life that can be quite jarring. It can be scary. It can be confusing. It can feel like we're losing progress. We're losing our direction. It's something falling apart. Then we have this card, which I've interpreted as 3 different things. The number 13, which reminded me of death, that talks about release and letting go. So I do think one message this person has for you is, for those of you who have recently been through a Tower moment in your life, or there may be one coming up, they have a message to you to not fight it. I'm hearing to not try to claw your way back, to not try to rebuild the same tower, to just let it crumble. It's crumbling because it was meant to crumble. It's crumbling because it doesn't serve you anymore. It was flimsy. It was unstable. Then I thought this was the Four of Swords, which is about inaction and being at peace. And so it feels like just, again, to not fight it and to let it be. And then finally, what this card really is, which is the Queen of Swords, it talks about looking at the situation objectively, sort of detaching from the more emotional or sentimental side of you and recognizing the truth of the situation. So I do think that there's something ending or falling apart in your life that is no longer meant for you, that is not benefiting you, and it really is time to move on. But at the time that it's ending, you may still have an emotional attachment. So the emotional side of you is wanting to cling on for dear life, is saying like, no, it's like when you're kind of in denial, like, no, it's okay, we can rebuild it. And the Queen of Swords in you is saying, no, come on, like, it's time to move on. It's, I just got an example looking at these waves of, let's say you were wearing, actually this ring is from my grandma. So it would be like if I was swimming in the ocean and I lost the ring in the ocean, and then like a storm comes and the ocean is rough and it's dangerous and And the emotional part of me is like, no, the ring isn't gone. I can go get it. I can go back in and get it. And the logical part of me is like, no, like there's a storm coming. You're never going to find it. The ocean is so big and it's dangerous to go back in there. Like, we just have to move on. Like, we just have to let the ring go. We just have to let it go. And the emotional part of me is like, no, it feels kind of like that. I'm not saying you're in any danger, but it's like the logical side of you knows that it's no use to try to go back to the way things were before, to try to rebuild things. Maybe another example of this energy is like someone close to you hurts you or betrays you. And when you're like in a calm and composed energy, you're like, oh, absolutely not. I cannot forgive that. Our relationship has to be over. But then when it actually happens, the part of you that's emotionally attached is like, well, maybe I can forgive them. And so it's like, it's clouding your judgment, and it's going against everything that you would logically say, just because that emotional part is not ready to let go. And it starts to, oh, well, maybe I can forgive that. Maybe I can accept that. I just want to rebuild this tower. I just want to go back. And your inner Queen of Swords has to be like, no, come on, like, we're moving on. Just let it fall apart. This situation has shown its true colors. The truth has come out. We see the situation for what it is, and we gotta move forward. So this could be something that's happening and they're giving you this advice, or they could be letting you know of something that will happen in the future. I do wonder if with this Queen of Swords here, this is a person who can give you that kind of tough love where I guess I want to say they wouldn't enable you to engage in behaviors that might bring you short-term comfort, but that are not really good for you. So, let's say you were missing your ex one day. This is just an example. I feel like this is the friend who would be like, hey, you stop that, like they wouldn't entertain it, and they'll be like, come on now, like, we got to keep moving forward. And then you're like, yes, you're right. Like, no, you're right. And they kind of like snap you out of it and help you to move away from the things that, even though you may still be attached to them, they're just not good for you anymore. They're not serving you anymore. I feel like this is something that they help you to do. And yeah, even with the Devil, it's funny how it looks like they're pulling a leash and they're like, come on. They help. I feel like this person really helps to pull you out of a dark place where you might make decisions that you kind of fall back to an old version of you, or fall back to something that's not serving you anymore. It's like they're continuously challenging you to see how amazing you are and what you really deserve and how strong you really are to keep moving forward and to leave behind what you no longer need. Even if it's uncomfortable sometimes. And with the Devil here, the Devil also talks about like limiting beliefs, feeling not good enough, feeling stuck. And I think this person's magic is pulling you out of that cave, so to speak, pulling you out of that dark place. I feel like they're just always here to remind you how badass you are. And like, if something falls apart or if someone walks away from you, it's like, okay, you didn't need it, like on to the next thing. And helps you to not dwell, because it's one thing to like sit with your emotions and process them so that you can move on, but it's another thing to just dwell in the past because you don't want to move on. And I think, yeah, because like Queen is cardinal energy too. It's about moving forward. This is Capricorn energy, which is also cardinal and about moving forward. I feel like they just really help you to move forward to the new beginnings that you truly deserve. And so I wonder if they're bringing you this message because you are currently going through or are about to go through a really big transition where you're shedding old skin. And some of the old things you may emotionally feel uncomfortable about, like, no, I want to hold on to it for a bit longer, I'm not ready. But like logically, that it's time to embrace this new version of you. And then we have this Two of Cups, Cancer energy, this is Venus in Cancer particularly. Yes, this definitely makes sense because this totally gives, I mean, they're literally explicitly saying that you are soul family. And so I think this Two of Cups is them promising that you guys are always going to be together. And also they want you to know that you help them just as much as they help you. Because it's one thing to be able to uplift your bestie, your friend, your family, to uplift them and let them know how amazing they are. But you can still struggle with that yourself. You know, you hype up your friend and you can see as an outsider that they deserve the best. But then when it comes to giving yourself that same kindness, sometimes it's hard. So I think you actually help them in the exact same way, with this Two of Cups being about reciprocity and balance between both sides. You probably, no, you do the exact same thing for this person. Like when they're feeling like they want to stay in their comfort zone, when they feel like maybe their emotional attachments are clouding their judgment, when they're starting to doubt themselves, you in the same way help pull them out of their cave of limiting beliefs and of self-doubt. So you have this beautiful, beautiful support for each other. There's a beautiful friendship here. Again, like regardless of the nature of your relationship, I do think that there's a beautiful friendship between you. So let's actually want to read the, where is the guidebook? I want to read the Flower of Thunder, this card that tripped me up so much. Yes, it is the Queen of Swords. Yes. The natural state of my mind is clarity. I soar with the wings of my true heart. With lightning bolts of clarity in her talons, our Flower of Thunder has proven superior to the storms that have challenged her. Yes. From seed, where you took your first leap, to root, where you trained inwardly, you now emerge as a flower, where you bloom and soar, shedding light and clear direction. Your insightfulness and straightforward expression open you to a new level of independence. The power of word and mind aligned, coupled with a clear heart, is as fluid as the eagle's flight. I'm so happy I read this. Like, you're here to remind each other that you are stronger than any storm that has ever come your way and that will ever come your way. You help to bring each other clarity when your mind feels jumbled, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when the emotions become too much. You help each other just like snap back into alignment and like, oh yes, this was the direction that I'm going in. And you help each other remember what your path is and what you help each other keep promises to yourself. So let's say you were like, I'm going to achieve this goal, but then as you start going, it gets overwhelming and it gets difficult. They help you like, hey, remember what you said you were going to do? Like, you can do it. And you're like, yes, you're right, I can do it. And you just, the support you give each other really helps you to clear your mind and to snap back to your confident, badass energy. And I love to see it. I think we all need a friend like this. Okay, what other messages does group number 2 need to hear right now? Summer, high energy. So actually, this video is going to be up in the month of May. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and of course, if you're watching this when it goes up, this coming summer season could be a time of a big transition for you. Like a new version of you is ready to emerge and it's going to take strength and courage on your part, but you can do it. Regardless of when you're watching this, the next summer, wherever you are in the world, the next coming summer could be an important time. This could also be indicating that you're entering into a summer season metaphorically in your life where your hard work is paying off and you're just thriving and your life is flourishing and you're full of energy and you're full of inspiration. It feels like a fertile time. And this could also be a hint of like this person is born in the summer or you met in the summer. But by this point, if you made it this far in the reading, you probably already know who this person is. But also the number 25, like that number for me personally, 2s and 5s together, it is an indication of like soul families coming together, or, you know, multiple soulmates coming together. So even more confirmation that you have a soul group with this person in it, and you follow each other through your lifetimes. And I do think sometimes you're on Earth and other times you're not. We have bamboo, bend but don't break. So another sign of receiving strength from this person. But I'm also thinking about how bamboo grows for a very long time underground, but then once it finally sprouts, it shoots up really, really fast. So I feel like you're going through a breakthrough that you've been preparing for a long time. Like this new version of you that you're stepping into now, it's been in the making for many, many years. And I think your person's higher self can see that. So, you know, it may feel kind of harsh sometimes how their energy is like, come on, like, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep moving forward, like you gotta let go of the past. But it's because they see this amazing version of you that has been forming for years, and they're like, we can't give up now. Like, you're almost there. They see that you are almost there. You're almost at this breakthrough and you cannot give up. So you've been like this bamboo that is growing slowly over the years, and it's finally your time to burst up and to grow really fast. And you may be in an uncomfortable transition right now with this tower moment and with that death energy that I was picking up on, but it's going to lead to a huge breakthrough, a huge transformation in your life, and things are really going to start speeding up for you. And group number 1 got this as well. We have roots, focus on foundation. Roots also make me think of family. So I wonder if this person is your family, like your human. It could be like a human biological family member. It could be your chosen family, or again, this could just be yet another confirmation of this person being your soul family. And I also think roots is just them saying like, I'm always going to be there for you, no matter what direction life takes us in, no matter how far away we might become. Even if we went a long time without speaking, I'm always right here. Like, I'm always going to be right where you left me, and my love and support for you is never, ever going to change. That's beautiful. Should we? Yeah, let's read bamboo. I also feel called to read bamboo. Bend but don't break. Gently swaying in the breeze, bamboo inspires us to remain flexible but resilient, to flow with the wind and life's challenges without letting it ruin you. This card is a reminder that you are stronger than you realize. Stop fighting against the wind. Literally, we've been talking about this. You're stronger than you think, and when something is ending, when something's not meant for you anymore, like, don't fight it and just let it go. Stop fighting against the wind. Instead, move with it whilst remaining calm and composed. I think I literally used those words too. Move with it whilst remaining calm and composed like bamboo. When you are flexible, you can adapt better to life circumstances and challenges. Have trust in your power to overcome those challenges. Ask yourself, where am I resisting the wind? How can I dance through the breeze? Wow. Group number 2s, these are all of the messages that I have for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack for collaborating with me once again on a seasonal bundle, and thank you so much to the creators of these beautiful decks. I'm going to have the individual decks linked down below if there's one in particular you feel called to, as well as the bundle. Remember that you can look at every card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. And also remember that you can get the bundle, so both decks, for 10% off using the code KINO. Thank you so much to Tarot Stack, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings, just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I will also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Amethyst, this is going to be your reading. Like we mentioned in the intro, there is a mini reading, which is totally optional at the start if you would like some hints as to who your person is, who has written you this letter today. If you have already chosen this group with the intention of hearing from a specific person, or if you would like to hear the letter first and then see what comes to you with regards to who this is, then you might want to skip this part. So I will put a timestamp down below if you wanted to just go ahead to the part where we read the letter. But if you would like to do this mini reading and get some hints about who this might be, we have 3 groups to choose from. So I'm going to roll 3 sets of dice. For number 1, we have these marbly dark colored dice. For number 2, we have these swirly pastel dice. And for number 3, we have these sparkly dice. So I'm going to go ahead with group number 1. If you chose group 2 or 3, these are the timestamps to skip ahead to those groups. But let's see what hints we have for our number 1s. Who has written this letter today? We have the sign of Gemini, we have the number 11, and we have the planet of Venus. Okay, so this is giving the energy, with Venus in the 11th house, this is giving the energy of a dear friend. And for some reason, the word unlikely pairing is coming to my mind, but I feel like this is more from an outsider's perspective. So if an outsider, someone who doesn't know either of you, were to look at the two of you together, they might say like, oh, they make an odd couple, or like they make an odd friendship or something like that. But it's because they don't know your personalities. I feel like the two of you, your personalities are very similar, but I don't know, maybe like superficially there's something that gives people the impression that you must be like totally opposite, you must be so different, and like people can't picture you being friends or being a couple or liking each other or getting along. And it's like, no, we are actually like 2 peas in a pod. So I feel like this is someone who is a dear friend to you, and you might like look different or have different backgrounds or be significantly different ages or something like that, but actually you get each other really, really well and you have a really valuable relationship. So for my number 2s, we have the South Node, we have the sign of Gemini again, and then we have number 1. So this is someone who has cared about you for a long time and who has been around you for a long time, but it feels like you are not really in communication anymore. This could be a person who is incarnate in your life right now that you have a history with, but maybe you drifted apart, it feels like you're not in communication is basically how this is coming through. It feels like you think about each other frequently, but you are not talking frequently or at all at this time. And yes, for some of you, it is a human who is incarnate. For others of you, it could be a spirit guide who is sad because you're not really talking to them anymore. It could even be someone who is on the other side, and maybe it's been a while since you directly spoke to them. It feels like they miss you and they wish that the two of you spoke more, because there was a time where I think you were talking a lot, perhaps even every day, and then things just kind of, and I feel like maybe neither of you know exactly why it happened. Maybe both of you are like waiting for the other person to reach out first. 444 as I'm saying that. So it's probably something like that, where they miss you and they're waiting for you to reach out. You miss them and you're waiting for them. And like both of you just miss each other and you're not doing anything about it. That is the vibe of these. And then moving on for group number 3s. We have the number 6 for the 6th house. We have the sign of Virgo, and we have the planet of Uranus. So Virgo and the 6th house are energies that go together. This person could be a Virgo, and I want to say that they could be a Virgo sun. They could also be a Virgo rising. And then Uranus is associated with the sign of Aquarius. So this person could have Aquarius placements as well. And they could also be a Scorpio rising, like Scorpio energy is somehow coming through as well. I do feel that this is someone that at this point, you have more of a spiritual connection to them than you do a 3D connection. You may have limited interactions in the 3D, meaning limited in frequency, like you don't have interactions that often, or when you do interact in the 3D, it's coming through like there's a lot of restrictions or something, or inhibitions, personal inhibitions or restrictions from external circumstances that don't allow you to interact with each other in the way that you really want to. And so a lot of the closeness that you feel with this person actually comes from a psychic connection that you share with them. A lot of it comes from the interactions that your higher selves are having. It just feels like there's limitations or barriers on your 3D connection right now, but that doesn't stop your souls from getting closer together. This is also giving the feeling of someone who, this may be your first time encountering them in this lifetime, or one of your first times. It does feel like your souls have met recently, but really took a strong liking to each other and just like bonded. I'm hearing fused. Like they fused together really quickly and formed a bond, and they're like, yep, this is my soul now. Like I found, it's giving the vibe of like when you go to, I don't know why I'm saying kindergarten, probably because it's like early stages, but like on the first day of kindergarten, you're just like, this is my best friend, I just know it. And then they become your lifelong best friend. Like this is the vibe that your souls have, and whatever barriers you're experiencing in the 3D, it's not stopping you from expanding your connection and building a really beautiful bond. And I have a feeling that like whenever those 3D barriers go away, all of the progress you've made together in the 5D is just gonna whoosh down, and like your 3D connection is gonna grow really, really fast. So yeah, it feels like someone you have strong feelings for, but you may not be super close to them yet, but like you want to be, and your higher selves are talking. So I think that you receive a lot of like messages and signs from this person's higher self, and your higher selves are just like love each other a lot. Okay, so that concludes the mini reading. Now we're going to read the letter. I did just want to mention, you can't really see it anymore, but I accidentally got some droplets of water on this paper, and it kind of reminded me of like someone who is crying while they're writing a letter. So your person could be in a time of their life where they're particularly emotional, or they could get emotional when they think about you and when they think about how much you mean to them. So let's read their letter. My dearest, your name. You are a beautiful, incredible, radiant soul. It is one of my greatest joys to know you and to live alongside you. May you always be surrounded with people who appreciate and nurture your brilliant light. This world is so lucky to have you. Keep developing your talents. The world is ready to be blown away. You're a star. I love you so very much. Yours forever, their name. May I say too, this is the first group where the person actually like properly addressed you in the letter. The other groups just like started talking. We're just like, hey, so blah, 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 blah. But they did a proper like, dear group number 3, my dearest group number 3. I do feel that this is quite a sensitive and sentimental person. Maybe those droplets on the page also indicate that they're someone who's not afraid to go there. They're not afraid to get emotional, to get sappy. They're not afraid to cry. They have a really big heart and they have a lot of emotion in them. I do think this is someone who admires you a lot and praises you a lot or has praised you a lot in the past. And I'm hearing for some of you, this made you uncomfortable because they maybe said all of these wonderful things about you that maybe at the time you didn't really feel to be true about yourself. But I'm also hearing they loved you before it was cool. So they seem to think you're a star, you're gonna blow up, like the world is ready to be blown away. They see in the future that you're going to be doing amazing things, and maybe you're growing a following, maybe you're getting fans. There's just, once the world sees your light and once the world sees who you truly are, they're not going to be able to get enough of you. Everyone's going to love you. And I feel like this person is so proud of you, but they kind of have this pride of like, I knew them first. Like I always loved them before everyone else loved them. Like this is my baby. Like that's kind of the way it's coming through. This person has so much love for you and they are so blown away by your talents and they are so blown away by your inner beauty and their outer beauty. And I'm sure if you are in communication with this person that they tell you this all the time. Even if you're not in 3D communication with them, I just know that their higher self tries to tell you this all the time. And I just hope that you receive this message and know how much this soul loves you. But it does really seem like they're wanting you to come out of your shell more and to believe in how talented and how gifted you are and to show that to the world. That is something that they really want you to do. So now we are going to get into some cards. So we have the Gentle Tarot here and the Bloom Oracle here, which we are going to be getting into. And together, these two decks are the KINO Tarot Spring Bundle, which I've curated in collaboration with Tarot Stack. We do a bundle together every season, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of Tarot Stack before, but they're an online shop that carries a huge selection of indie tarot and oracle decks. They also publish decks of their own, so they team up with independent tarot and oracle deck creators and help to fund their projects and help publish them and get them out there into the world, which I am very, very grateful for. So I'm going to have this bundle linked down below. I'm also going to have the individual decks linked. If there's one in particular that you want to check out, you can look at every single card in the deck on Tarot Stack's website. You can also look at my own personal comments on the bundle and how to use it and everything like that. And if you do feel called to the bundle, you can get a 10% discount using the code KINO. So thank you very much to Tarot Stack, and let's get started. We're going to see if there's anything else that this person wants to tell you or anything else that you should know about the connection. What else does group number 3 need to know? We have the Flower of Wands, which is the Queen of Wands. And if this is not the epitome of come out of your shell, explore your talents, express yourself, show the world how amazing you are, like that is literally the Queen of Wands. And I think that this is probably how this person sees you. They definitely find you to be very beautiful on the inside and out. I'm also hearing they think you're hot, although I don't know who this person is for you. So if that's a weird thing to say for who this person is, just ignore me. But, you know, if this is like a friend or basically anything non-family, I guess, then this person thinks you're hot. Or maybe they think what you create is like really hot, as in like, this is amazing. The world needs to see this. I feel like this is the type of person who would really want to show you off. And they said this in the letter as well, that they are so proud to know you, and they take a lot of inspiration from you as well. Crows may be a sign that you see for confirmation in this connection, or it might be a sign that their energy is around you if you're seeing crows. We also have the Two of Cups. Group number 2 got this card as well. And every group so far has gotten some kind of indication of a soulmate, which makes sense because we're channeling souls who love you and who care about you a lot. So of course this could be any type of relationship, but I do think that you have a strong soul bond with this person. Like I said, I do think for many of you, it is still kind of in the early stages, like your souls are still getting to know each other, but I'm hearing that your souls are like enamored with each other, or they're very, very fond of each other. And I do think that this person, both of you get a great source of inspiration from each other. Both of you have been activated by each other. There's a passion in you or a fire in you that has been activated from knowing each other. And there's a belief that you support in each other, that you can do anything you set your mind to, that anything is possible, that your light should be seen, that you deserve to take up space. That's that kind of uplifting energy that you have on each other. And there's something with the Two of Cups as well about mutual and reciprocated feelings. So however you may feel towards this person, I think they want you to know that they feel the exact same way. So, you know, if you miss them, they miss you just as much. If you look up to them, they look up to you just as much. There may be a message in here with the Two of Cups of them wanting you to know that the two of you are very much equal. You know, I think sometimes when we admire someone, we tend to put them above us, feel that they are better than us, that we have to like get on their level. And I say that with finger quotes, you know, kind of putting them on a pedestal. And I think their higher self wants you to know that you are equals and you're one and the same. And there may even have been times where their human self has felt like they need to get on your level and felt that they look up to you. I think the two of you might be surprised to know the ways in which you have looked up to each other and the ways in which you've maybe put each other on pedestals at different points in your relationship. But the truth is that your souls are absolutely equals. And I think your souls do recognize this. And sometimes I feel like you receive messages from this person's higher self a lot, but you might think that you make them up because you're like, oh, they wouldn't say that, or oh no, they don't really feel that way. Because I do feel like the messages from their higher self are very intense. So, for example, when they're telling you that you're beautiful, they would say like, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And so you receive this message and you're like, oh, come on, like not the most, you wouldn't say that, like not the most beautiful, like I'm just making that up to feel good. And it's like, no, you properly received a message from their higher self that is actually exactly what they said verbatim. So yeah, I feel like they do, like this, clearly this person is very praising towards you and just sees you in such a high light, to the point that yeah, I think when you receive messages from them, you're like, surely they didn't say that. And like, no, they did. Yep. Okay, let's see. What else do my group number 4s need to know? we have the Emperor. So there is quite a bit of Aries energy coming through. Well, twice, but we have Aries energy here. And then with the Queen of Wands, she is fire, but she's also cardinal energy. So cardinal fire is Aries. So this person could have Aries placements, or you could have Aries placements, or Aries season is going to be an important time. As this video goes up, Aries season will already be just past, but whenever you're watching this, the next Aries season, so like late March to late April, could be an important time in this connection, or it could just be an important time in your life, just based on what this reading has been about and like what their messages to you have been. I wonder if this is indicating a time where you are going to be sort of at a peak in your confidence, where you might be releasing a project or a creative work that is like really important, sharing something with the world that you've been working on for a very long time. And this will be a time where your talents are finally being recognized the way that, like, you're finally being recognized and appreciated the way that you have always deserved to. And whether this is like a human who is incarnate on earth right now or not, I do want to say that their higher self is always a guide for you to take you to the right opportunities and to get you to a place where you can find your place in the world, make your living, utilizing your talents and utilizing your passions. This is what they want to help you to do, and they want to help you to get to a place where you're seen by the right people, your gifts are being recognized. It's almost giving like Six of Wandsy kind of energy. Like they want to take you to this place of victory where you're proud of yourself, where you've achieved all of the accomplishments that your heart has desired, and where you are getting that recognition and getting that praise, and perhaps even getting that following, because they did say that you are a star. Like, I feel they really believe that is what you are destined for, because you're so special and you bring such a unique light to this world. And I'm hearing you do it like nobody else. The way that you express yourself, the way that you create, the way that you work, it's so unique. And I feel like with the Emperor here, they're saying that you are a pioneer, like you are meant to be the trendsetter. So if you look around and you see that you're doing it differently than everyone else, that should not discourage you. That should make you be like, hell yeah, hell yeah, I don't do it the same way as all of you because I am forging a new path. But when you lack confidence and you see yourself doing it differently, you might assume that it's wrong and that you should conform to how everyone else is doing it. And this person is saying, no, you're doing it differently because you're unique as heck, and nobody can duplicate what you're doing. They will try when they feel like they have found this treasure before everyone else. because people haven't had the chance to like really see you yet. People really haven't had the chance to see your vision and to see what you're capable of. And they feel so honored that they're one of the first people who gets to see your amazingness. That's how they feel. Like they're so freaking proud, and the advice that they're giving you, actually they're begging you, like, please don't conform and just like succumb to doing it like everybody else does. Like, keep believing in your own vision, because you are the trendsetter, and everyone is going to see that. I get to see it first because I'm so close to you, and I love that for me. But like everybody, it's just a matter of time until everybody else sees. Okay, let's get one more from this deck. We have, oh, looky here. I don't know if we need to, do we need to cover this? It is just a drawing, but you never know. So I will put a little, is this? Okay, I'm like 5 years old, but I thought it was funny that I'm putting like the Uranus die on this part of the picture. Okay, so this is also Aries energy. So like, just there is overwhelming Aries energy going on here. And for some reason that's making me emotional. Maybe it's because I'm an Aries, so I'm just like vibing with this energy. And I do feel that this is a very emotional person. And I think Aries in this case, I mean, this person could have a lot of Aries placements, but, or if you have Aries placements, I think they really want you to tap into them. But I also think in a way this Aries energy is describing the way in which this person does not hold back. Like they just go for it. So if they want to pursue a certain path, they just go for it. They dive in head first. If they love someone, they tell them. If they think someone did a good job, they tell them. Because life is too short to hold back. And I think this is something else that they would want to tell you. I wonder if this is either just like a really, really wise incarnate person who has life figured out, or for some of you, this could be someone who has passed on. And so like retrospectively, they realize how short life is and how it's such a waste when you like, I'm hearing like, it's so lame. Like humans are so lame. Like not you specifically, but just humans in general. Like we have all of this passion inside of us and we hold back because we don't want to be cringe, you know? Or like, it's seen as a bad thing to feel really strongly about something. It's like, calm down, like you're obsessed. It's like, no, I feel alive. I'm passionate. Like I have feelings. This is awesome. Like this is the human experience. And they want, like, just don't become like everyone else who is conforming because they don't want to be cringe or they don't want to be different or they don't want to be weird. Like that is such a big betrayal to yourself. And I think sometimes they look at the world and they're like, everyone's walking around with their nose stuck up and like they don't want to admit how they really feel because they feel like it's lame. And it's like, no, you're lame for holding yourself back. You're lame for denying your authenticity. So take that, they say. Yeah, they definitely have that Aries energy of like, just go for it. Like, just trust me, bro. You're not gonna regret going for it, because even if you take the leap of faith towards what you want and it doesn't turn out how you hoped, it's like, at least you honored yourself. At least you tried it. And that in itself is such an honorable thing. It doesn't really matter what the outcome is anyway. The important thing is the process of honoring yourself and obliging yourself and letting your passion lead. And it's not about where it's taking you. It's about the practice of it, the practice of committing to your passion and committing to your intuition. If you're doing that, then you've won life. And I can guarantee you're going to have a kick-ass and amazing life. I'm just, this person, they have a lot of wisdom, and I'm just emotional because I feel like in a way they were like too pure for this world. And I just really hope that they feel understood and they feel seen. And I hope that for you. I hope that for you too. Girl, I am like, this pile is making me emotional, and it's so funny that I got water drops on the paper too, because like I'm in my feelings. I feel like just the purity of the love and encouragement that they're sending your way and like wanting to uplift you, it is just so pure. Like there's no other motivation than just wanting you to know how amazing you are. Like even if they're saying like, you could be like, I hate you, I never want to speak to you again, and I would still like cheer you on and wish you the best from the sidelines. It, you know, I want that for you. I want you to thrive. Two of Wands, like you're entering into a really exciting time of your life with new opportunities coming in, opportunities that it's so fun because it's like there's things that you're consciously trying to manifest right now that are coming in, but there's also things you don't even know about. And like this person's higher self knows about them and they're like giggling like they're just like, they can't wait to see the look on your face. Sorry, I'm having a moment. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this person's energy has me in my feelings so much. I think they're just a really emotional person. And oh. And I love that for them. And I love that they honor their emotional side and they don't succumb to that pressure of like, don't be too sensitive, you're too much. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna cry because it feels good. And I have a lot of feelings. And I love group number 3 so much. Okay, so let's get some oracle cards for my lovely group number 3s. We have change, embrace all seasons. So some foreshadowing from this person that, first of all, foreshadowing that significant change is coming to your life with the number 5. But also acknowledging that we go through seasons in life and that they might want you to know that whether you're in your spring season or your winter season in life, you are always just as lovable. And the love that they have for you is not tied to, your accomplishments or like your productivity, obviously. Like it's not attached to worldly things. It's just your essence. It's just your soul. And they'll be here for you through all the seasons and through any forms that they may take. Whether they're a human or an animal or an orb, they're always going to be there. We also have the lotus. Your mud has purpose. Okay, I think we're gonna read this from the guidebook. But this lotus is really beautiful. It's like overcoming obstacles and thriving, and it does give a feeling of purity because the lotus grows through the mud, but it comes out totally clean and beautiful. I think they would want you to say that like, you are not your past, you are not the things that happen to you, and that even like the worst mistakes you've made or like the worst things that have happened don't have to define how you move forward. The number 15 is making me think of limiting beliefs just because of like the devil card, the link to the devil card. And with this message of your mud has purpose, like they may be talking about how you can alchemize, for example, limiting beliefs or your shadow side. Like it's not just there to weigh you down and be a bother to you, but you can actually harness it in a beautiful way. Let's read it from the guidebook before we pull our last card. Your mud has purpose. Bloom through muddy waters. No mud, no lotus. This mesmerizing flower, signifying purity and rebirth, can only grow in mud. Without pain or suffering, there cannot be happiness, as said by the wise monk. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Thich Nhat Hanh. Have faith that just like the flower, you can rise above your suffering. Have faith that this mud serves a higher purpose in your journey. The funny thing is, the sooner you can love your mud, the sooner you will rise above it. Ask yourself, how can I find purpose in my mud? 33 as I'm holding up this guidebook. So you are beautiful with all your mud, not in spite of your mud. And finally, every single group has gotten this card. Roots. focus on foundation. So I feel like that also affirms to me that like every single group today, like this is your soul family. Like I do feel like for this group, your connection with this soul is still newer, but you are going to really build your foundation and build your roots from now on and just grow the strongest of bonds. And you know, for souls, like the timeline is not really the same, so it's kind of like you already are really, really close, and you already really, really have this strong bond. Just maybe in this earthly timeline. Honestly, I'm gonna start confusing myself if I talk about this. So anyway, just know that you're very important to each other, and I'll leave it at that. So group number 3s, these are all of the messages that we have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. And thank you so much to Tarot Stack once again for collaborating with me. And thank you to the creators of these beautiful decks. I'm going to have both of these decks linked down below. And I'm also going to have the bundle, so both decks together, linked down below. And remember that you can check out every card in the decks on Tarot Stack's website. And if you do feel called to the bundle, you can get a 10% discount with the code KINO. So thank you very much to Tarot Stack for that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless, exclusive pick a card readings just like this one, and you can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. I am tasting so vividly right now rum and coke for no reason, but I thought I would mention that. Are we partying? Are we celebrating? And now I forget what I was gonna say. But anyway, music channel down below, my latest release is down below, and finally my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here. And thank you for giving me the feels. That was nice. And I'm sending so much love to you, to your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.